Stephanie.
Emily.
And today we're going to do another video book comparison for Girl on the Train. I forget the numbers.
By Paula Hawkins.
Yeah. So I read the book a long time ago, and the movie came out recently, so we figured we'll just go watch it. And we did. And we decided to do a comparison between the two. When did you read the book anyways?
What?
When did you read the book?
I read it sometime this year, actually.
Okay, so it was like fresh memories.
Yeah, definitely from me. So I can start off with
Okay.
my opinion of the movie versus the book. So I generally liked both of them. I felt like the movie itself did a really good job in replicating a lot of the scenes. I saw a lot of the anxiety. As I said, I mean, for me personally, Emily Blunt was a phenomenal actress. She was able to really get to the point of why the character did things the way she did and evolve as facts got thrown towards you. You're like, oh, this is what's going on. Oh, no, that's what's going on. And then find out about all these characters in a very timely manner that got you more and more involved and immersed in the story. I think that's also something that's representative in the book itself. But something that I did not like much about the movie was at the denouement, so at the very end of the basic conclusion, I felt was a little anticlimactic. That wasn't a feeling I really shared when I was reading the book, perhaps because with the book it was just because of the streamlined narrative. It gave me that sort of punch that I needed, which didn't happen with the movie. I felt like because I saw these characters and they probably did such a good job in the beginning that near the end I was like, oh, that's it? What?
Yeah.
So that's my basic opinion on it.
Yeah, so I feel like the book was I feel like for the most part, the movie did a good job in terms of staying loyal to the book, making sure all the important context is there, is not too deviated from the main core of the book. And I feel like a lot of the main scenes in the book were also depicted, which is really good. Sometimes you don't see that in the movie adaptations. But one thing I want to say is that what I found interesting was that you see how, like, I feel like the movie made things a lot more vivid. There are times when the book, you seem like it's, you just see in the page, you're like, okay, these are actions, these are like, like what's going on, but it's in the book. Whereas the movie, when I was watching it, I was just like, oh my goodness, like maybe because it just seems more intense. As you see all the scenes unfold before your eyes, but I definitely got more sucked into the movie than I did for the book. And to be honest though, I think the both of us were a little bit, I wouldn't say bored in the first half, because it was all the plot development. But once you got to that point where you're like, oh my goodness, like now things are starting to get good, then it was just like a roller coaster from there. But until that point, I feel that it was a little slow. There was a time that I was like on my phone, just like half paying attention to the movie. So like the vivid aspect that I'm mentioning right now is really for like the second half of the book when all the action occurred. Because until then it was kind of just like, okay, like I understand what's going on. Like it's just she's being drunk again. Like she had a lot of issues, I want to say. So
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean rightfully so. But at the same point, it was just like, I don't know. As a character, I just don't understand why she like. I mean, maybe because I think this was more mentioned in the book, but since I've read the book such a long time ago, I don't really remember her reasoning as to why she just kept spending her money and taking the train when she had no job.
She wanted to put up airs for other people to know that she was occupied, but she was also still reeling from the loss of her former life. So for her, she was very obsessed with a past that could not be changed. And that was a pain point for her that she could not get over. And I think that's part of the stalkerish, battered wife kind of feeling that she kind of gives off. But then, I mean, as the story develops and you find out who she was married to, I was like, oh wow, like
you're a lucky girl.
That oh, well, I wouldn't say lucky, but she did manage, to sort of leave the situation before it really escalated, being the real victim,
right?
But she is still a victim of a lot of abuse, and I think that's sort of like, I felt like that characteristic of her was pretty realistic, because I do find that sort of like Stockholm syndrome somewhat common in stories like that, where you are with someone who is not at all good for you, but you have but you're tied to them nevertheless. So she was still like kind of withering from that, and I think that's my explanation for it, at least for what I read from the book itself.
So I thought the actors and actresses did a really good job in portraying all of the characters. Their like the emotions really got through, and I like I said, I think it followed very loyally with the book itself.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with Halle Bennett. That's the name.
Haley Bennett.
Haley Bennett, sorry. Haley Bennett's performance, because I feel like acting as the other woman, and then also, you know, as like a very, you know, flimsy wife is not easy to like at all on screens. Most of the time people overact, or they don't have enough of like a subtle touch to it to make them remotely relatable. I will never say likable, because that is not a role you could ever be liked in, other than the person who you're doing it with. But I mean, that's just how it goes. But with her though, I felt while watching her, there was certain elements of her that felt sad. It was like she was stuck in a situation she didn't like.
Yeah,
there was
and her husband was kind of intense too.
Yes, I think that was... he was not very well-rounded as a character though. So I feel like they showed certain elements of him just to feed into the story.
No, but I feel like he was better portrayed in the book than it was in the movie.
That could be true. Yeah, in the movie, he just comes off as this very predatorial, very possessive
very
husband.
Side character, to be honest.
Yeah, and then, but because of that, I guess, her performance, Haley's performance really was really authentic. You could understand why she was motivated to do certain things that she did. And yeah, despite of how despicable it is, you were like, she didn't really deserve what happened to her in the end, because you hate that person more. Right. It's like, why? And
then honestly, like, I was a little like, so for her, so obviously I'm assuming that everyone has read this book or has watched the movie at some point, since it was such a big and like, you know, well-known book. But Haley's like, or Megan's character, I just didn't really understand. Like, okay, you have to understand she's kind of trapped in this marriage life because her husband wanted a kid and she didn't want to have kids. And she was kind of faced off. In a way, she kind of reminded me of Gone Girl, the girl who plays like that main character, because the husband wanted like a certain way of life for his wife. And she didn't want that. So she was kind of stuck in this limbo because she, you know, wanted to do her own thing, but her husband was like, no, I think you should stay at home and like, you know, raise kids. And like, she's like, I don't want kids, which is why she ended up babysitting. She's like, I even hate kids. Like, I hate kids, but she's babysitting. That was her like side job. So I was right.
Her side job had innuendos about it though.
Well, yeah, I know, but like,
she wasn't just there to have kids.
Oh, yes,
kids, by the way.
I know. Yes, I'm sure we all know.
So I'll find out.
But it was just more like, so that's why I think she reminded me of Gone Girl. Like her, like that there's some similarities between the two wives. But I just feel like she was just like, I understand her like her struggles, but I just don't understand her like tendency to just cheat. Because she wasn't just cheating on one guy, on her husband. She was also cheating on like multiple people.
I think for her, she's kind of gone, like, her version of insanity is going on this binge sex rampage, where the only thing she can really find release is, or release.
Release or relief. Like,
I mean, they mean the same things almost in this context, was to, you know, have sex with multiple guys, because I think that's where she valued herself the most. She was always like playing the seductress role. But I think what's great about the writing, and maybe even in the movie, was that you kind of see the consequences of being a seductress. Like, a lot of men, you know, in general, are very find a great appeal of that character, and every woman, despite what they say, has liked that role before in terms of like for their selective men. But you can see how, like, in the story itself and how it grows, how like that role can be so dangerous, and how like eventually it'll come back at you, and you don't really go away being like, oh, she absolutely deserved it, like I told you, and like this is absolutely like the right thing, the right or wrong way of doing, or the right or wrong way of doing things. You just feel sad, feel bad, because you're like, this sucks that
Mm-hmm.
like this is how someone must have to feel in order to come out that way. And
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the fact that they're doing this very, very sinful thing,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily feel irregular. It doesn't feel unnatural
Yeah.
that like there are people who have these tendencies. And so I feel like that was pretty respectful.
And I also want to bring into one scene in the movie, which I don't remember being in the book, about the whole like bath situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't remember that happening
That
at
like made
all.
her a little more sympathetic, I
Yeah,
guess.
I was kind of like, oh, like she had this like background. But the thing is, like, I feel like it wasn't very well portrayed because I don't remember why this occurred and
Yeah.
like in what context. I just felt like it was kind of just put there.
Yeah, that's a
Remember?
good point. Yeah, I think for me that also was a little jarring now that I think about it. But I don't know. I think in the movie, yeah, in the book itself, it was not emphasized as heavily.
Yeah.
And so
Megan
Megan was still
like,
Megan.
Right, and like the movie like really went back to this scene like multiple times, like
Yeah.
hinting towards it, and then at the end you see what really happened and that like, you know, that's that time, and it's just you're just like, oh, okay. But then like why was this brought back to like towards this scene so many times, and what is the purpose of it other than just being more sympathetic to her as a character? Like, is that the only purpose for it? And
No, now that I think about it, I did not like those inclusions because I
with
felt
the bath scene?
yeah, because I felt it gave her an excuse for not wanting children. And I was like, why? Like, there are just women out there who do not want children.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to, like,
yeah, so that's why I'm
make
kind
that
of like
more
a little confused with that scene
Yeah.
because I don't really remember it being in the book as much.
yeah.
And then that when it was in the movie, I was kind of like, oh, okay, like this happened, like this
Yeah.
kind of like random. And then you're just kind of like, okay, like I understand why they actually went to a therapist, like.
I don't think it was a necessary ad though. Now that I think, yeah, going back to my
Right.
point, I was like, there was enough motivation by the husband and his prouding for her to like want to talk to the therapist. You go to couples counseling; it's like completely natural in those type of like strained marriages.
Right.
So for me, like I feel like adding that particular scene just kind of took away from that angle of like Megan, maybe of like her being, you know, the seductress and then getting that point across of like there's like she's a sad character, she has these needs.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that concludes our movie book comparison for Girl on the Train. But yeah, let us know in the comments below if you agree with us, if you read the book or watched the movie, or if you've done both. Let us know what you think, and we will include the links below in case you want to check out the book itself
And the movie.
We'll include all those links below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you did. All right, everyone.
All right, see you guys. Bye.